goodness. Big move Monday. Look out. A way to end the tournament.
All right, gentlemen, what's happening? We got Beau and Brock Mantanona.
What's up?
Big fans. What's happening, guys?
Not much. Just got down with the lift. Yeah, hanging out.
Nice. Guys getting bigger?
Yep. Trying to.
That's the game plan. I love it. Well, I wanted to jump into this. I told you beforehand, big fan of you guys. I mean, your style is so electric and exciting and just fun to watch, constantly offensive. Even when you're being defensive, it's awesome, right? So I guess the first thing is it how much fun is it to wrestle like you guys wrestle? I guess it's fun for us to watch, but I imagine you guys are having a blast too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just scoring points, going out there. I mean, I go out there trying to have fun and just show all my skills and just put a bunch of points on the board and pin some dudes, and yeah, it's fun.
I've been seeing a lot of pictures from the US Open and different events on Instagram from, Michigan's page or whatever. And Brock, I feel like you in particular usually have some sort of like smirk on your face in the middle of a match that you don't usually see from other dudes. Is that something you're doing in the time or what?
No, I just think I like competing. That's the reason we wrestle, right? Practice is just to get up and get ready for the competition. So when I'm out there, I try to enjoy it and have as much fun as I possibly can out there.
I love it. Well, talk a little bit about where that comes from, right? Because I've heard some of the stories about your background and upbringing and family and everything. So just walk us through kind of where that love of the sport and competition comes from.
It's always been fun. Growing up, our practices were always fun. Just the guys we had in the room and kind of the way the practice was structured, we were having fun. I didn't even think of it as like it being tough or like I was just going in, hanging out with my friends and getting better. So I think that really just helped me just enjoy the sport, and it was fun learning. We'd go in and we'd all talk about different techniques and just kind of break it down together, and enjoying the progress we're making. So, and definitely just competition is the most fun part. Practice is like where you get better. You do that, you practice to compete. So when we go out for competition, it's just we're enjoying it, we're having a good time.
I love it. So you're building this style approach, you're getting it going, and you come into college wrestling, right? It's a big transition for everyone. You guys so far seem to have been making a smoother transition than a lot do, right? Now, let's talk first about the positives, right? Where has that style and that approach, the attacking, the high flying, I mean, you talked about technique. There's dynamic technique that you guys are throwing at people, right?
Yeah.
So where has that really been the most beneficial transitioning into the college level?
I think just just the points flying, that's something you can definitely build off of. I know a lot of guys come in and they're really strong and they're tight and they can kind of just hang with these guys, but coming in with just a lot of offense and being able to like put up a lot of points, you already have that piece. And then I was able to come in and learn the defensive part too and kind of the other side of it, and it definitely just gave me a lot to build off of. And kind of like I'm still using the same offense I did when I was in high school. Like I'm still working that, and now just really dialing that in, and then adding the defensive part of it's definitely helping my game a lot.
Absolutely. Now on the flip side, right? Where has it gotten you guys in trouble? Where you're attacking too much, or maybe opening up too much, or?
For me, I've kind of had a hard time protecting my legs like all throughout my life, and I have a pretty high stance, and I'm always firing off. So like sometimes I'm not in the best position defensively. I feel like that kind of got exposed the first couple weeks I was here. All of these guys in the room that they're really good fundamentally, and it's going to be hard just to rip points on them. They'll hold their position, and then sometimes maybe me getting a little bit sloppy, they took advantage of that. So I had to learn that right away, and then yeah. So I've been working on fixing that up. Not being so not too like I'd say over aggressive probably.
Yeah,
Very
for
nice.
me it was just hand fighting and then kind of just leg defense. Like I would come out here and just kind of spaz and try to put up as many points as I can. And then on some of these guys, you can't do that. Like they're too defensively sound, and I was getting beat by some guys I didn't think I was better than just because they were holding position all match and then sting me with one takedown, and like just had to really dial that in. So that was tough to figure out.
No, for sure. Well, you guys are balancing it out really well, for sure. So, talk a little bit about your brother Anthony. Obviously, wrestled in Oklahoma and was awesome wrestler himself. But I always hate to use the word advice because I feel like little brothers hate taking advice from their big brothers, but what words of wisdom has he given to you guys about, the transition and, what sort of things has he told you about college wrestling and where you can, hit the ground running?
Yeah, my older brothers, Anthony and Troy, they both wrestle at Oklahoma. And I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
like just them being together, like they've been through it. Kind of, they went through these seasons. They know what it's like. They wrestled in the Big 12, which is another just tough wrestling conference. They know what it's like, making weight every weekend, wrestling every weekend, kind of just the game of it. And, Anthony in his later years, I know he figured it out kind of like, I know he struggled in his first couple, but, in his last couple years, he definitely dialed that in and, knew how to do it. So, I'm looking at two people that have been through it and, went through the whole process. So all through the season, I'm keeping in contact with them. Every match I'm calling them, seeing what they have to say. And they've helped me a lot. It's great to have just those resources.
I'm going to take the L on this. I did my research and I knew Troy was there too, and I just forgot to put it in my notes app. So my apologies, Troy. You know what? I'm going to transition to another question I was going to ask later, right? Because it's great to have your older brothers and everything and to be able to rely on them. How cool is it for the two of you to be, competing together and going through this journey together?
I think it's awesome, getting to feed off each other. Like, we didn't get to wrestle too much with each other this year just because, him being the starter, me redshirting. But, even the one duel we had was that Central Michigan duel. And then, just seeing Beau go, kill someone 40 seconds, like sticking him right away, gets me fired up, adds a little energy to me. So I enjoyed it. It's really fun.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's just, great to have in the room. I mean, that's been my number one partner my whole entire life. Like we've wrestled our whole lives together. So I think last year was a little tough for me. We were split up and I was out here on my own trying to, navigate this kind of away from Brock and then just the rest of my family, those were all of my coaches. So it was definitely different, but it was really nice having him back this year. I mean, this was my main partner this year. And it was cool. We're kind of at the same weight. So like, if you look at like the 165 rankings, we wrestled like everyone. So it was like,
Yeah.
I could talk to Brock. Like we knew these guys. So it was good to have that.
No, that's fantastic. And I since you brought it up, let's talk Central Michigan. I myself am an alumni. I'm from Ann Arbor, so they're my 1A and 1B schools, so that works out. Got to call the duel, which was fun as well. But yeah, you had the match against Kramer. I think he was ranked certainly top 10 at the time, I feel like, at 174. So you're bumping up a weight. I was shocked to see you come out. How long did you know before the duel that you were going to be competing in it?
Well, probably like an hour before when we started warm-ups. We are two guys, Connor Owens and Joe Walker. They're both kind of banged up at the time, are 274-pounders. And so, I mean, I knew it was a possibility, but I wasn't too sure. And I'm usually Bo's warm-up partner. I let him just drill on me. And so Bo's just, drilling on me, getting his warm-up in. I can't remember if it was KJ or Sean, but one of them came over like, hey, you got to get ready too. You're wrestling this stool. I was like, oh, damn. So, I mean, yeah, probably like an hour out. They kind of let me know that I was for sure going out there.
Yeah, I mean, that was, again, I mean, to be able to go out there and get the win in such dramatic fashion the way you did as a true freshman, still being able to maintain your red shirt was pretty wild to see. So good on you there. I also got for another duel I got to call. I was at Columbia this year, and I should have looked this up. I didn't. I'm going off the top of my head, but I feel like it was maybe the second period. You first of all, you started the match off super fast, getting a takedown right away. Guy was ranked in the country, top 25, and you start off the match hot. Then you get to this area on the edge of the mat where it's almost out of bounds. You kind of pull him back in. You secure the takedown, I think right before the end of the second period, and you just kind of looked up and gave a wink. It was awesome. I got to know, man, who were you winking at?
So kind of like our team photographer, his name Sam Janicki.
Yeah.
So I get the takedown, and it was like a bear hug. I slam him out of bounds, and
That's
the guy was pretty good. And I was beating him up. I got like 3 takedowns in the first period. And that was my 3rd takedown at the very end. There's like 5 seconds left. I look up, and Sam's like 5 feet away from me, like this close. So I just gave a big smile and
yeah, man,
put myself out there.
That was fun. I was on the call with Miles Amin, and I think literally like all professionalism just dropped, and I just went, dude, did you just see that? Anyway, so let's continue. Beau, So I'm at the MSU Open this year. I'm talking to some coaches and everything, and they're like, hey, we might have lost Beau for the year. It's kind of a big deal. Like, don't tell anybody, but like, looks like he's going to be out getting some surgery, all that stuff, right? So a couple weeks go by. I'm bummed because I was like, damn, I wanted to watch Beau kick some butt, But then you find out that you healed. Your ACL was supposedly torn, and then it healed, and you got to come back for the season. So just walk us through the emotions from all that.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. So Brock did it to me in the wrestle off. We wrestled off it, and like 30 seconds in, he gets to a single leg. I try to I feel it pop, and I just I knew it. I could feel it immediately. So the coach what's wrong, and I just tell him I was like, I think I just ruined my knee. This is I think I just tore it for sure. I go back to the team room, the team doctor. I mean, he feels it, does the test, and he's just like, that feels like an ACL tear. And so I'm just I'm crushed. There's no way that's how that just happened, right before the season's about to start. I couldn't even process it. It was crazy. I go back, I get the MRI that night, send the report a couple days later, torn ACL, MCL, meniscus. That was the report.
Wow.
My dad has a couple doctors that do that. So I sent the MRI to my dad. He sent to them. They're like, yeah, that knee looks thrashed. It's pretty bad. So I mean, those couple weeks after, it was brutal. Just come to terms with this isn't my year. Your mind just it starts going to the worst. Dude, I don't know how I'm gonna come back for that's a serious injury, surgery, all that. Just really bad. So I get my surgery mid-November. I go in, they put me under, I wake up, and I don't remember being told because I was just out of it, but I remember knowing my knee's fine. I guess the surgery was supposed to be a couple hours, and it was 30 minutes in, they called my mom into the room and were like he's good. He's fine. ACL is not torn at all. The meniscus doesn't need repairing. His MCL was a little torn, but it's already repairing itself. He's good. We asked him, and they're like, yeah, you could probably start wrestling again in a couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. I'm driving, I drive back to the hospital straight to Bona. I can't even believe this. The coaches are like, oh my God. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So it's funny because when I heard this story, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty awesome. I didn't know it was supposedly all of the knee, right? I heard small ACL tear maybe, and then it just must have healed, which is surprising anyway. So the question I had written down here is, are you Wolverine? I mean, I know you're a Wolverine, but
I might be. It's something, I don't know what every doctor said it. Multiple doctors told me everything was torn. I went in, it was totally fine. I couldn't I probably repaired it myself. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking.
I think so too.
No way they all got it wrong.
Yeah. So talk about you're both living in Ann Arbor this summer. I spent several years of my life living in my college town up in Mount Pleasant, and living in college towns over the summer is great. So talk a little bit about, just some of the things you enjoy about being in Ann Arbor this summer. I'm sure you're training hard and you're doing all those things, but highlight the city a bit.
Yeah, it's fun here. I mean, the vibes are good in the summer. I've it's nice. The whole team's pretty much here, so I got all my friends here, and I mean, we're going playing disc golf, hanging out with friends every night. We're just enjoying the city. It's a nice place for sure.
Runs in the Arb, or I know you guys do that with the team, but maybe it's not as much fun.
We haven't done that in a while, but I mean, we did that last year. It's pretty tough, but.
Well, let's talk about the World Team Trials. All right. Obviously, you guys both just finished that at the U20 and U23 levels. So Brock, let's start with you. Just talk about the experience, making the finals, having a good run to the finals, but just obviously coming up short in the end. So talk a little bit about the overall experience and what you took away from it.
I mean, no, I enjoyed it. Anytime I get to compete, I love it. I think leading up to the finals, I wrestled pretty well. There's obviously some things I had to clean up, heading into that rematch with Hankel. And, I just don't think I cleaned those things up completely the right way. Kind of kicked my butt those two matches. But, good experience to get into 3 World Team Trial finals. That's a big deal. So, something to build on. I had a great time,
Very good. And so, Beau, same thing for you, man. I mean, you had a good experience. You ended up winning the U23s. Mm-hmm. Both of you at 79. My buddies and I were like, I told you they're getting bigger. All right. But yeah, man, talk a little bit about, your experience, and then ultimately how you're preparing for Worlds now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's actually kind of tough. Like, I don't know if I'm going to Worlds yet. I know with the new like selection process, there's like 2 guys ahead of me in line that get the spot if they want it. So
Really? My apologies. I didn't really realize that.
yeah, so I mean, like if you make the senior national team, which is like top 3 at trials, you get the U23 spot if you want it. And I know
Oh,
Committee and Haynes, they both qualify for it, so they can have the spot if they want it, which kind of sucks. Like, I mean, I'm kind of regretting not going seniors now. Like the coaches asked me right after NCAA's, like, you want to go to like senior open and senior trials? And at that time, I was just like, I need some time off. So I kind of like brush it off. Like, I'll just do U23s, not knowing that like that doesn't guarantee you a spot.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that time off was necessary. I took a couple weeks off after NCAA's and then just, I've been training really well, really hard. And first time wrestling 79 kilo, I went in there and I wrestled, I think, really good. I didn't give up 1 point going into the finals. I teched everyone in the first period. In my first finals match, teched him in a minute. Lost that second match, just felt like I beat myself, and then go and tech him again in a minute in the third match. So I think, I was definitely really dominant, felt really good at that weight class, really strong, really fast, kind of just, I felt good. It was a good turn.
Well, like I said earlier, man, it continues to be fun to watch. So that was excellent. Last couple things I wanted to go through here. I'm going back to the 2 of you getting to share this experience a little bit before we wrap this up. Share with me maybe favorite memories from the other one competing, being a spectator and watching the other one get after it, or shared wrestling experience together.
I think for me, it's pretty easy. It was when he went to Cadet Worlds, I was his cornerman.
Yeah.
So like I was down there in the tunnel with him. I was warming him up. I was getting him ready. I was sitting Matt's side at the World Championships. Like that was a great experience. I think it's funny. I talk about this like Brock's semis. He's wrestling this Russian guy, and it's me and Brock like back to back, and then it's this Russian kid and his like probably 250-pound huge Russian coach. And it's like it's like Brock's got the wrestler, and it's me and the coach. Like I'm kind of staring him down, like, all right, I got this. They reach, good luck. Like I'm like, all right, we care this guy. But yeah, I mean, watching him take bronze in the corner that was an awesome experience, and just going through that whole process with him, and that was definitely probably the best one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That's probably my favorite too. But if I have to give a different answer, I'd say for this year, watching Beau's match against Minnesota, because he was coming off the injury, and I didn't know if Beau was back to where he was before he got hurt. And Sparks, really good guy. I think he was ranked 8 or 9 at the time, and Beau kind of put it on him. And so I mean that was awesome to watch, just to see Beau finally get back to where he was. So it was good to
That was fantastic. I remember where I was watching that. I was coming back from Miami for my wife's 40th birthday, and I was sitting like waiting for the plane, and I was watching on my phone, and I was like, yeah. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you giving me the time here. It's been super fun, and we're excited to watch you compete through the rest of your careers here.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.